Good morning. Thank you very much for joining me on my very first ever proper Facebook Live. So just bear with me. Feeling a little bit nervous here, but it's all for the greater good because I want to help you out. For those of you who haven't met me, I'm Michelle, mum of two gorgeous boys and owner of Pure Life Therapy. And I'm dedicated to supporting pregnant women successfully cope with severe morning sickness and Hyperemesis Gravidarum using a variety of different relaxation techniques. So the reason I'm here is because the Christmas season can be exhausting at the best of times, even when you're not pregnant. And when you are pregnant, it's a million times worse, a million times more exhausting. And then if you're suffering with severe morning sickness and HG, the thought of Christmas, it can feel a little bit daunting and unbearable. And I'm talking from my own personal experience here too. And that's exactly why I've created this advent calendar of tips to deal with severe morning sickness and HG during the Christmas season. So during the month of December, I invite you to join me every day at 10 o'clock, where I'll be here, mostly live, but maybe some pre-recorded due to other work commitments. So to provide tips and techniques to get you through this busy and exhausting time. And I'll be drawing on my own experience of suffering with my two boys during both my pregnancies of suffering with severe morning sickness. And I'm dedicated to helping you enjoy this festive season as much as possible. So when I was pregnant, this is a little bit of my background here. So when I was pregnant over the Christmas season twice, it felt like such an effort. And I just didn't know if I could be bothered. So I went to my work Christmas lunch, which was excellent fun. And afterwards, I was really pleased I'd made the effort because I'd had such a good time, good laugh with my friends and colleagues. And it did actually distract me temporarily from and made me feel a little bit better for a while. Although the 3-course meal wasn't really the first thing on my mind. And then with regards to my husband's Christmas party, he usually has a very dressy work Christmas party, and none of his colleagues actually knew that I was pregnant, which this proved very embarrassing during our 3-course meal when I wasn't eating. I was being a bit fussy. I couldn't eat everything, and I wasn't drinking the wine like most years. So when one of the directors asked me if everything was all right with my meal, I kind of felt obliged to blurt out that I was pregnant to everyone on our table. Oops, that wasn't exactly how my husband had planned to tell people, I think. So then when it came to the party bit afterwards, I think everyone else who didn't know I was pregnant, everyone else thought I was a total bore when I went off to our room on my own very early. I was exhausted, for one. 2, I felt really, really sick, and I was sick back at our room. And 3, I knew I'd suffer the next day, or maybe longer, if I wasn't sensible. And then we move on to the entertaining side of Christmas. So like the thought of entertaining and playing hostess around Christmas Day just drained me. And I couldn't face the thought of having to run off at various points to actually be sick. And being sick with visitors in the house is just unbearable to think of. It's embarrassing, the thought of them hearing you. And you know, us women who are suffering, we just want some privacy, we just want to hide away, and it's not always possible. And then there's the food and the Christmas present shopping and the wrapping, and it goes on. So there's so much to do around Christmas time. And obviously it's going to be a little bit different this year due to the dreaded coronavirus. Although in some ways I do wonder if maybe it's a blessing for women suffering, as it's almost like a ready-made excuse to hide away when you're feeling rotten and not particularly sociable. But I'm not pregnant this year, so I'm going to, I'll let you be the judge of that, because you know how you're feeling. So please join me starting on Tuesday, the 1st of December at 10 o'clock. And let's see if we can give you some support, some tools, some tips to help you get through Christmas and have the best time you possibly can. And if you find this advent calendar of tips useful, then please venture over to my brand new Facebook group, the Severe Morning Sickness and HD Collective. This group has been started to support pregnant women who are suffering with Hyperemesis Gravidarum, to help them successfully cope, to feel empowered, to feel loved, and to know that they are definitely not alone, absolutely not alone, and we can all support each other. In the group, feel free to share your own stories, your tips, your photos, survival videos, anything you want in the group. And please also invite any friends who you think would benefit. I will be also sharing various videos and coping techniques in the group as we go. And on that note, thanks very much for joining me now. And I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday, 1st of December at 10 o'clock right here. With love and light. Thank you. Now I've got to figure out how to turn this off.